Welcome to DASA Connect 2023. This talk is about the importance of diversity and inclusion in building a high-performance IT organization. My name is Art Westerik. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of Royal Haskoning DHV Digital, and we work on a proposition called Twin, because nowadays it's all about digital twins. Royal Haskoning DHV is a 140-year-old organization in the consulting, design and engineering area. We have business lines on industry and building, water and maritime, mobility and infrastructure, and since 2020 we have a new business line called Digital. That's where I'm the Chief Technology Officer for. I'd like to take you via this agenda to some examples of why diversity and inclusion really matter, how it convinced me, the lessons learned from my perspective, and I would like to give you some guidance for thinking about bringing in the impact of diversity and inclusion in your projects. That's going through some final thoughts at the end. Now let's go back a little bit in time. 1995. 1995 was the year I graduated high school, university I must say, and I started my professional career at IBM. Working for the IBM Global Network, I started off with a bunch of real enthusiastic guys, I must say guys, working on projects impacting the business of the IBM Global Network sales in Europe. And my manager at that time, after a couple of months, took the decision to add one female to that team. And although everything positive that we already had still kept alive, like the attitude of working together, that really made a difference. Bringing in that female started bringing in professionalism, a little bit a different attitude of the team members, and a little bit more of, I would say, seriousness. And that seriousness and professionalism impacted how we did our projects. And it opened my eyes on how small changes can really benefit on the performance of a team. Now, 5 years later, I worked at KPN Mobile in the Netherlands. We worked on a project. It was a KPN Mobile project of bringing a new service to the market. And bringing that new service to the market with new technology, it asked for a different approach. And that approach, I would say today we could call it agile or DevOps or something like that. Because it was more about exploring a way of working and making a result than upfront knowing what the result would be or what the approach would bring us. And in that big uncertainty that we had at that time, I remembered the lesson I learned from IBM. And what I did is set up a team with a female solution architect and an analyst with a background from Morocco, and Morocco is famous for its hospitality, and that's something that I would like to bring into that project. And the impact was that we, in all that uncertainty, were able to deliver on time, within budget, the project results that KPN was expecting. And I thought, wow, this is not only a once-in-a-lifetime experience when you start your professional career, this really works in doing your own business and making results with your own projects. In 2017, I was the manager of KPN, the Dutch Railways teams, 20 teams working on commercializing the online services of the Dutch Railways. And one of the topics we were working on was selling online tickets and selling online contracts. And in this area, at that time, we had a team of people working on bringing new functionality to the market every 3 months. But by then, the commercial organization wasn't actually happy with what we were doing at that time, because bringing new services to the market actually took a whole weekend. So about 24 hours, we were offline, introducing new services and then, applying them to our customers. That should dramatically improve. 24 hours of downtime was way too much, and waiting 3 months for new functionality was way too long. Now, first of all, we thought, we can change that by just doing the things we do better. We would call it efficiency. And that efficiency did help us out. Yes, it did help us out in actually bringing every 3 months the downtime to, let's say, about 12 hours instead of 24 hours. But that didn't make our colleagues from sales very happy. So knowing that that was not the way to go forward, we changed our approach. And we did not look anymore for efficiency, but we looked for a different way of doing that, bringing that services to the market, and actually working on automating the pipelines, introducing CI/CD. And for that matter, I needed new people. And then again, I learned from the past that I need new people on that topic with a new background and new ways of thinking. I found a manager, a female manager who was really into this topic, and I found someone who was really able to negotiate with operations, and that was someone with a Turkish background. And what you see here is that with a team, with the change of team, we were able within 9 months to go to daily releases and actually bring the downtime back to 0. Now, that was really what convinced me of DevOps way of working, and it convinced me of the importance of diversity and inclusion in your teams. Today, I'm working at another, let's say, mind-blowing topic at Royal Haskoning DSV, where we work on a global flood map. And that global flood map should give an overview of risks associated to flood all over the world. And you cannot create that thing overnight. So this is something that we will be working on for, let's say, another year. And it will be something that keeps the importance of maintenance afterwards for forever. Because the world is changing and the risks are changing too. We started off a couple of months ago in this real big journey of creating the global flood map. And also for this, I needed a team. And now I have a team of youngsters in the UK who are working on this topic. And I was happy to introduce a female manager on that. She's a little bit more experienced than the other ones, but she knows the importance of automating a data pipeline, getting the quality in there, and keeping the quality alive. And that female manager is actually, again, the one who brings in the different thinking, because if you want to create a global flood map, you cannot do that by doing the things you did on a local or country level before. So it's about different thinking, applying new technologies, and accepting the fact that it's not just the number of countries times the impact you made once, but that you really need to focus on the quality and automation part of it. And again, this seems to make the difference again. I'm very much convinced that by the end of this year, with this team, we will get to the point that this global flood map is alive for the whole world. And the way we are doing that now is by really focusing on the need for this information all over the world and exploring that and finding out our way forward on that. And that's actually what that female colleague of mine brought in. A new way of thinking with new people. Now, the four examples that I give also apply on the Scaled Agile success vectors. The Scaled Agile success vectors that make the biggest difference are management support, choosing and customizing the Agile approach, and mindset and alignment. And I think these four examples that I give show that it's actually also, in empirical cases, the truth. Well, another thing to look into is how then change the organization in adopting something like inclusion and diversity. And inclusion and diversity is often referred to as a cultural change, but you can't change culture by yourself. You can change culture by focusing on the behaviors, and behaviors have consequences. And I think also these four examples show that focusing on behavior, bringing in new people with different backgrounds, that actually has consequences, and those consequences over time influence how the organization looks at its beliefs and values, and therefore the culture will change over time. Sorry. Now, diversity and inclusion within Royal Haskoning DHV is very much an important topic. We embrace it in our strategy and we translate it in our plans. In this organization of 6,000 people, where 3,000 people work in the Netherlands and the other 3,000 somewhere around the globe, diversity and inclusion is an important topic that cannot be neglected, because every culture in around the world is somehow impacting our organization. And we feel that we need that power, and we need those changes, those differences of thought in actually transforming our own organization and being able to adopt all the changes that are there or coming over time towards this, let's say, Dutch hosted organization in the Netherlands. Therefore, you see that diversity and inclusion are an important topic in the strategy of our organization. The purpose of Royal Haskoning DHV is enhancing society together. And that is about climate change, biodiversity, it's about resources and circularity, but it's also about social value and equality and safety and well-being, and how that impacts the way we work, and therefore impacts our social footprint all over the world. So we adopted diversity and inclusion as an important topic in our Stronger 25 strategy. Stronger 2025 obviously refers to 2025. But it's not only in the strategy, it's also in the plans. And that means that we have KPIs to measure the impact that we are making on society. And we measure that via our projects. And in these projects, we have KPIs on climate change, biodiversity and natural systems, resources and circularity, but also on safety and well-being and social value and equality. And those two KPIs are very much related to adopting the number of females in your projects, not only on a individual level, but also on a management level, and also bringing in different aspects of inclusion in your organization. So you can see that diversity is an important topic of Royal Haskoning DHV in the strategy, but it's not a goal in itself. It's rather a way to reach our Stronger 25 goals. And it's in more than one KPI embedded. And we look at staff, we look at new hires, we look at line management, and we look at critical leading positions to apply different thoughts, bringing in different people, and bringing in the importance of also male and female. And actually you see that also by the change that we made in 2020, with the introduction of the business line digital. Actually, I'm an example of a change of thought, bringing in a different background into an organization of, let's say, civil engineering defined culture. I myself have an IT background. So also on that aspect, Royal Haskoning DSV is taking that very seriously and believes in the fact that if you bring in new people with new thoughts, you will be able to adopt new ways of working and making that your own. And this obviously is not a very easy thing to do. Now, within the business line digital where I work, we also created a detailed plan for ourselves, and we reviewed it with the Socio-Economic Board. And the Socio-Economic Board is an organization in the Netherlands that's there to make change on a social way with an economic impact. Probably all over the world we will find different socio-economic boards in different countries, and you can use those organizations to validate your plans. For us, it made a change that we also put a metric in on the different nationalities. Because we are working with so much different, in so much different countries, with so much different people, and we want to make a global impact, it's also important that we bring in the thoughts and the difference of thoughts from these different nationalities. And not only on a team level, but also on a management level. Now, the importance of diversity and inclusion in building a high-performance organization may have become clear from the examples that I give. I would like to conclude with at least focusing on three lessons that are important, that I think I learned and I hope that you can apply in your organizations. The first is, if you want to change something in your organization, and that change asks for a different approach, then diversity and inclusion is an important piece of the puzzle to get there. The second lesson is, it takes time. It takes time to make a change. So be patient and get surprised. Be clear on the goal you want to achieve, and then be patient and get surprised. And be patient means it takes time. So don't push on the way your colleagues are working on the approach. And get surprised means that actually the end result might be astonishing. It might be way over the result that you might expect. And that can happen again with me at Royal Haskoning DSV in the global flood map. It might be that it comes earlier than I expected with a higher quality or something like that, but we will see. At least the example of the Dutch railways showed that being a little bit patient really makes the difference, because I never expected that zero downtime was possible, and the business didn't expect it at all. But by adopting different lines of thinking and bringing in different people, there it made a real difference, and we got far more results than we expected. So that's the second lesson learned. And the final lesson learned is that there is a war on talent going on there. And this war on talent means that we don't have enough people out there to work on our projects. And if we want to embrace the things that diversity and inclusion can bring us, it actually makes the pool of resources bigger to choose from in making those, bringing you to those results. So knowing that this war on talent is an important thing and it will not go away, diversity and inclusion can also be here a puzzle, a piece of the puzzle that gets you the right resources on your projects in time. Now, I hope that you saw that in Royal Haskoning DSV we encourage, foster and value the diversity of thoughts. I hope that you can learn did learn something from it, and were inspired on how we approach it. I also hope that you were a little bit inspired by the journey that I made of it, on which I also learned that diversity and inclusion is not only something from this time, but it's already there for a long time, and we only have to embrace it in order to get us to better and changing results. And by adopting that, we will be able to challenge, to face the big challenges over time that we have in the different industries. Now, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you have a great continuation of your DASA Connect 2023, and I'm there to answer your questions if you have some via another channel. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.